Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. In this video, I'm going to identify every single one of the vacuum lines that plug into this engine. If it plugs into this engine, I'm going to identify where it plugs in or what sensor it plugs in. Let's start back here in the back where the vacuum modulator valve comes up. That has a vacuum line that connects from there and goes all the way up over from this left-hand side and goes up to the top right-hand side and comes up right through here. And then it finally comes up and around and plugs in right there. This has one that plugs into the firewall here, and then one that goes off to the side. It's right next, it's the right rear of the engine, right next to this coolant line right here. That's what this is for. It's for the coolant hose, for the heater and all that. Next to the modulator valve line, that vacuum line that went up right up here, this thing branches off this way to this one that I identified in the engine removal process as letter C. And then that goes up, right up into the wiring harness up here at the top, and then come right up to this first tie right here, and then continue on to this next tie and continue underneath this hose here and continue up over to here. And we'll go into this tie right here, following that line there, into this tie, and then into this rubber T here and this valve. Well, that takes care of that line. Now, since we've already done C, let's go find A and B. B, right here, comes from the air pump down below, and then A goes over here to this check valve. And there's the part number for that check valve, but there's a rubber 90 right here, and then you can see the color of both these lines. The A's got the green line, and then this one here's got like a bluish line and a purple type of a line. A is that way, that comes from that check valve. Comes up and comes over. B, of course, is coming from the air pump. And then eventually both end up plugging into this. This little device, here's the part number, sits directly underneath your coolant tank. So you can't see it really, but it sits there. And there's a vacuum line that runs out from the side, which is going to go to A, which is that check valve on the intake manifold. And then the one on the bottom will go ahead and connect into B. You'll notice both of them have a green line and black. They both actually have that. See that? So all I have to do is hook these up. A to A, and then B to B. Done. So now you're looking from the front of the engine, and I'm going to deal with AA. Now this is where things start to get a little bit complicated. I found this diagram online, but I went ahead and color coded it to make it a little bit easier to follow. The one that I'm working on right now, this double A, that is that yellow line. And it starts at the intake manifold and then goes down through that hole and then comes over and connects into the ignition control unit. So it'll come up behind the power steering pump here and then up through there. On my vehicle, this is a black and clear line. You know, this looks very new, so I can't say that that's what it was originally, but that's what it is for me. I'm going to just use a little wire here to grab a hold of that vacuum line and then push it up to where I can get a hold of it and plug it in. AA is complete. So next is AB, and that's the green line on the chart there, and it starts at this purge valve right here and goes through this right here, comes up around into this tie down below the distributor area here, and then back up to this right here. That's the straight side of the thermal valve is what this connects to. All the ones, the angled sides, all go to the distributor. So you don't need to, or throttle body, You don't need to worry about any of those. It's only this one straight one right here, which is AB. All the other ones I've already talked about in another video that I did, which is identifying all the vacuum lines on the engine itself. So this is AB, and it comes up, and like I said, it's got this 90 right here, and here's the part number for the 90, and the part number for this valve, and the part number for that valve. So that takes care of AB. Now on the other side of that AB is going to be the AC line, believe it or not, that red line. And I identified it as AC, and that's right here. It starts down here and comes along just like all the other vacuum lines into that same place and then connects right here. Nice and tight. Beautiful. Then you can follow that along and it goes onto the throttle body right there. And now on to the final vacuum line, and that is the brake booster vacuum line. The tools you're going to need for this job is a 17 and a 19 millimeter open end wrench. I prefer using a flare nut wrench. So this side here connects to this. And then the other side hooks up over here. This is at the rear, of course, next to the Bowden cable, part of the mount down here, and the linkage. And I'll tighten this here. There we go. Nice and tight. Snug that up. All right, let's tighten it now. Just like that. Don't need to be any tighter than that. And then finally, I'll hook up the rear TDC, and we're now done. Okay, you guys, until the next one, thanks again for watching.